Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin with Elliott Wave Theory. A couple of advertisements here at the start. I finally completed the Elliott Wave and RSI Advanced course, so if you want to master the RSI and want to learn how it can be utilized properly with Elliott Wave Theory, check out the course on Udemy. I've also started Counter Trend Capital with few expert traders that will be paid Discord group. Currently the Discord is free, so you can check it out if you're interested. And lastly, if you want to educate yourself and support me, you can take a look at Patreon, where you can find Elliott Wave Basics course, access to weekly live streams and extra content overall. Thank you for your support. Let's get into the charts next. So here we are on Bitcoin chart, and let's take a look at the overall premise that we've had. The idea has been that we've had an impulse wave from the lows of around November end, having this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then ending this topping pattern somewhere up in here. Again, it is not clear which one of these tops is the top actually, so let's take a look closer here and what we can find. Previously we had a couple of different ideas here, either having this wave 5 ending at here completely, or this would be a wave 1 of that wave 5. So wave 2 would be something like this coming down, and still is possible to have that as a structure. Now a couple issues there already, but we don't need to be talking about that at the moment. Let's just focus more on this current price action and what we had previously. Again, if we are just pointing up this previous structure that we had as a possibility on the last video, I think yesterday, we had this as a invalidation. If the price went beyond this channel that we had, this whole thing would be invalidated, and it did go beyond and also did take out the lows of wave 2, which make it completely invalid. This was again this channel just based on the how good it looks. So again, this third wave was smaller than wave 1, means that wave 5 should be smaller than wave 3 in total. However, as wave 4 was larger than wave 2, it doesn't make any sense for any kind of diagonal, so again that was deemed invalid. We had a couple of different ideas for this structure coming down. I've seen a lot of people having this as some kind of 5-way structure. I had this as some kind of 3-way structure. However, again, as mentioned, some people had this as 5 ways as well, and they seem to be right. If indeed this is the top here, as this seems so impulsive to the downside, we have to be making this into a diagonal. Now, I could not really figure out the subway structures very well, but let's not talk about that yet. But I think this is what I had as the best option, having this as some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know the extension targets here are very, very horrible looking, and wave 5 is smaller than wave 3 here on an expanding diagonal, again, which makes no sense to me. But again, this is the only way I could be looking at this. Now this means that if this indeed is a wave 1 to the downside, we would have to end a count up in here. And to make a count end up in here, we would have to have this as a 1, 2, some kind of 3, 4, and 5. Now if we are looking at the substructures here, it looks horrible. This is the reason why I've been probably so out of the game here at a couple of days, probably last week or something. So just because again the structure looks horrible, generally we don't want to have any kind of flats either on diagonals, and at this point we would have to have this way too as a flat inside the diagonal. Otherwise I can't really end a count in here, because again this would be here, this would be this wave 4 here, so we would have an ABC like so, and then we would have some kind of 5-way up in here. Of course, there was a possibility that this was a structure like this, and there is still a chance like that to be happening. And then we would have another 3-way structure in here, and then another 3-way structure having a pair of this down somewhere in here. And that would have a decent probability and possibility of that happening. There is still. But at this moment, I just don't know. Again, the topping pattern here that we received is so horrible looking, I just can't really get anything around it. If we want to have a 5th wave ending up in here, I don't see any structure to do that, unfortunately. There is a lot of overlap here. If this was a wave 1, 2, this overlapping wave 3 is just horrible. I just can't label anything in here. Sure, if we just zoom out into 30 minutes, 1 hour time frame, we just get rid of all that, and we just see, okay, there is some kind of something happening here, but we just ignore it. It's easier here on higher time frame for sure. So maybe that is something that I need to be doing more often, not taking a look at these very overlapping structures that much. But again, if we just ignore them, I don't know, it just feels like it's kind of cheating the Elliott Wave system and not really playing with the strengths of it. But yeah, in any case, after we would now currently receive this possible diagonal here, we would be looking at this potential wave 2. Now, this again gave me a headache. There was quite a lot of impulsive characteristics on this. I even posted this on Patreon, what is this called? Patreon Discord channels, where we would have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Again, we had issues that I pointed out where we did not have divergence between these two highs. Again, it is not very common to see two extensions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and extended fifth as well, same as third one. So again, that would not be very common. And having a structure end up in here with the highest RSI, again, generally means that the structure is ending if there is a chance where this indeed is a third wave. Now at this very moment, I still can't really figure out how I want to be labeling this whole structure. I think the best thing is this. At this moment, I'm thinking that we have to be labeling this as some kind of 1, 2 over here. 3, 4, and 5. And then that would be wave A, B, and then C again. C would be basically getting just beyond the 0.618 here, minimum target. But again, that's all I got. As we took out, well, first I was looking for long setups here. I was long here, got stopped out, and then I was not interested in longing until I would see a partner leg for this structure here downwards. But we just went straight through. And as for the wave 4, we generally don't want to be seeing it this large in comparison when wave 2 is like this. And again, this was the previous wave 4. We don't want to be going beyond that. So after taking the long here and losing it, I just didn't see any other place to enter. So at this point, I'm still on the short side, still from the shorts from these highs. Again, these were the scalp mates or scalp trades that I wanted to be making against the shorts that I had. I had taken profits yesterday somewhere around here, I think. I think I only took like 20% or 25% out. So I let the whole price action go through and do this action. Did not cash on any of it. Again, that is fine. Sometimes you can't catch all of them. If you don't have setups, if you don't see the setups, then you don't take the trade. I'm not going to be FOMOing in here into another short. I'm not going to be FOMOing in here for another long setup either. Because again, at this point, to me, this looks like a some kind of third wave. We could be looking for that fourth of this minuscule and fifth. I definitely want to see this taken out and definitely lower targets. Now, what is interesting about this, if we are again pivoting and moving with this count downwards, we are seeing a lot of confluence down at these same levels. 0.618 has a daily 1-to-1 extension, naked point of control with this consolidation area here. 1.236, the weekly open, and 1.382, a daily open and a TPO. 1.618, weekly, is that daily and a naked point of control. So there is a lot of resistance levels, support levels down below that might be catching us. I'm definitely going to be interested in seeing what kind of reaction we get from the 1-to-1 and 1.236 to 1.382 here. Again, if we are making it all the way to 1.618 here, the probability is turn into this being actually this 1, 2, 3 downwards. Until we get down to these areas here, we can still be looking at this whole structure as an ABC. And then continuation to the upside, where this is still a wave 1 of fifth. Then we just have an ABC coming down, or WXY, however you want to be labeling it, and then a continuation upside. Again, we'll see how that turns out, but again, make sure to take profits and play the setups you see on the smaller time frames. Those can give you amazing entries for any kind of structure we're going to be receiving on higher time frame. But I think that is going to do it for this video on Bitcoin. Again, check out CTC, check out the educational content that I put up on Patreon and on Discord as well. Check out Udemy course as well if you want to be learning about the RSI more. And that's all. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.